All right guys, welcome back to another video. Last time, or in a previous video, we assembled the diffs themselves. The gears inside, cut them off the grid, put the lithium grease in there, and enclose the housings. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and try to install a lot of the drivetrain into the car, into the chassis. Now, we still need to build our drive shaft. Now, when we build a drive shaft, in this case, we're just using completely box stock kit. We are not doing things super special because we need to make sure that people are having a uniform experience. Unless their car has been modified or hopped up along the way on your own behalf, when you get the car, the experience should be comparable between one another. That makes it more fun. It makes the racing more fun because all you guys will be trying to fight over the same piece of tarmac, and you have to navigate your way appropriately through the course. Now, we are going to use the normal Tamiya grease that comes with the kit. We are using the plastic bushings. We are using the standard spur gear, the stock spur gear that it comes with, and we're just gonna assemble all this onto our chassis. Now, when I'm doing this, I do try to pay attention to the oil or to the lube that's available, and I'll go ahead and put it on both sides of what I'm installing. So I'll put it on the bottom of the drive shaft bushing areas, both on the diffs front and rear, put it on the bottom there, into your output shafts, you put it on there too. So I try to do that because when you go to put the housings on, the caps on the top, you're going to notice that when you try to turn the gear, the bushing, it's going to rotate. But it's not going to bring all the grease or all the oil with it. So if you pop some on both sides, as that spear spins in there and as it starts to wear down, it will have a bit more lubrication as you go. So we got the drive shaft put together. We're going to go ahead and pop that in there. Pretty easy. All is one piece. Just make sure when you are sitting in front of the desk that you try to have everything oriented the right way. And when I say the right way, it's just because when you put the gears in, if you put them both on the same side, like the car is gonna, it won't move. It will lock up. So you got to make sure you put it in the right way so that when the car is trying to go forward, both the all-wheel drive is actually working forward and not the back wheels turning forward and the front wheels turning backwards. So, and you can play around with that, before you actually lock everything in with the housing covers. But if you mess around with it a little bit, you'll be able to see that when you spin it, the spur gear, it should rotate forward and freely. Like I said, the oil, bring the oil back out. You're not gonna waste any oil. You're gonna have the grease the whole time. You're gonna have more grease left over. So just put just a little bit in there, just a light touch in all the right places to keep the car rolling freely when you guys start out. I have seen upgrades. Maybe I should just quote the upgrades, because some of them are and some of them are not. For instance, I have a set of differentials that are, they're all metal, and it's cool. The housing is metal, the internals are metal, but that's a lot of extra weight. Now, that weight might transfer to a little bit of extra grip on the track, but it could induce a bit of oversteer or understeer as well. It could produce a bit of understeer as well. You might be running deep into a lot of corners because your car is heavier than your competition. So since, you know, we're focusing on doing things and upgrading the car as we go, as we understand things, as we learn what the expected outcome is of our cars while we're driving, then you really don't need to look for upgrades so quickly. You know, I say that because a lot of people try to do upgrades and they buy things and they do look cool. They are cool at the end of the day. But when you're just starting out and you haven't learned how those upgrades are going to impact your performance, what the upgrades are even for, you know, they're not upgrades just because they're blue, you know. So that's something to keep in mind. So feel proud about where you're at with your car. Feel proud about the accomplishments that you're making if you're building your car and you're at the track or at the parking lot. If you built your car or you're building your car with the expectation of showing up at the track and you're gonna win right out of the gate, it might work, you know, and I hope it does. But we need to bring it to reality. And, you know, one could say that you might need to practice a little bit before you start winning the races. You might want to practice just a little bit. So you build your car, head out to your parking lot, head out to in front of your house, you know, make sure you're watching out for cars and everything, and try to get some time under your belt. Learn what is gonna potentially break, learn what are the weak areas of the car, of your car. It might not necessarily be the car that's a weak part. It could be maybe you thought you installed the screws all the way and you were mistaken. Maybe you did install the screws all the way and you happen to crack something, and it, you know, that becomes a weak spot under the stress of driving the car. And that stuff will show up. And you'll be like, man, why is the car handle like this? Why is, you know, it feels a little weird. It didn't used to do this, or it didn't used to do this as bad. If you're coming across an issue where you can predict the car, you can start to predict the car's movements, and you start saying stuff like, the car didn't do this as much, or it didn't used to do this as bad. When you start saying stuff like that, start recognizing things like that, that's when you actually need to start taking your car back apart and trying to identify what has gone wrong since I have built it. What's changed since driving this thing to where the performance is now different? Did you hit something? Did you recall hitting something? You know, running into a pole or a curb, and then, you know, the next time it had a little wiggle or a shimmy to it, and then the next time after that it started, you know, vibrating a lot. You know, you can see how things can escalate. So while you're building your car, at this stage is where you kind of need to make sure you're paying attention to how the quality of your build is going. So take your time, make sure you oil up the car good, make sure everything's going the right way, and you'll end up with a great build. We'll see you at the track.